Of default mind and discerning mind, my friend, you have to change, otherwise higher principles will not work. Just close your eyes and see. Is it default mind? It feels the sensation. Somewhere deep inside the mind says, I'm okay. This is okay. I can sit for 2 hours. No, we don't want that. But you can sit for 2 hours is a good thing, and but at the same time, your mind should be aware that you are not sitting, body is sitting. Right? So if you are aware that you are not sitting, your body is, then it will break the pattern of the it will break the pattern of that default mind. We have to remember, we take it casually. No, that is why it becomes challenging to become a real seeker. Break the pattern of default mind. Huh? So then you check what? Place of the body, position, and the posture. Knowing I am, you can say just I am not the body and the mind, and then experience the state. So the default mind and the discerning mind, you have to be very clear. So being comfortable, again, we have to check if default mind says I am okay, not just we have a discerning mind, viveka mind. Discerning mind is intellect. Discerning mind checks the comfort is the state. Default mind says, I will make an effort to be comfortable. How easy and how challenging it is. So, what I say, just check, feel, know, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness is not the property of default mind. What is default mind? Impulsive, egoistic, wants to repeat the cycle. So do you see that we are always easy and comfortable while doing meditation? What happens? The problem happens in the higher stages, because then this default mind takes over. No, we need not to allow that. How we don't allow that? By awareness. We don't allow the default mind by self-awareness. So we take it casually. It's okay. I know I'm carefree. No, that carefree is taking a toll on us. So being carefree, carefree is the knower and the known. Separate. Who can separate? Only discerning mind. Discerning means separation. So you see, or you say mentally. You say mentally. I just gave you another tip. You say mentally what? The moment thought comes, you say mentally what? It is a thought of anxiety or calmness or anything that you feel. You simply say it is a thought of I am not the thought. And wait. And wait means what? Wait means knower is here, knower is here, and thought is there. We have to experience that in the mind itself. And it is not a big deal. We have not to make an effort at all. You are not making any effort at all. So what happens? What happens? The default mind finds it uneasy. Uneasy. So it means, and then it says, you are uneasy. Let us move. So if you find unease, just wait. Say mentally, it is a thought of uneasy. I am not uneasy. It is simply a thought, and then you have separated. Knower finds thought is uneasy. I am not. Default mind takes it. If you know the default mind takes it casually, habitually, mechanically, impulsively, and then we miss the whole practice. My goodness, it is such a simple thing, and still we find it is. you So it is not a practice. Basically, it is an understanding that you follow. It is not a practice, but understanding is there, and gently the mind follows the understanding. What is that understanding? I told you it is so simple. What is so simple? Any thought comes, you are aware, then separate how mentally saying. In the beginning, it is better to say, A thought of upset. So you say, I, it is a thought of upset. I am not a thought. One, I am not upset. So you pick up a thought of understanding. You pick up a thought, you understand it, and then you pick up an object. You pick up an object from that thought. You are not. I believe you are understanding. It is an understanding. Can you say understanding practice? Yes, for the sake of understanding. But obviously, it is not a practice. That is why great masters used to say, mindfulness or meditation is an effortless process. Effortless means knowledge, understanding. But even if the mind says, I'm practicing ego, even if the mind says, I am doing a practice, ego or the false I or default mind wants to take over. And if it takes over, you are doing it for 50 years and no change. Why? We'll talk in detail, but why I'm answering you saying the ego is always insecure. Even after 50 years, we do not change. Why? Ego is always finds insecure. Why? Because it knows I can be dissolved at any time. So once you are simply aware, you recognize is dissolving. Nothing to be done. The very recognition, what do you mean by recognition? The recognition means it does not exist. Recognizing is dissolving means what? It does not exist, but appears to exist. It is such a beautiful understanding as well as beautiful so-called practice. We have understood, and now understanding follows. The pattern of the mind says, no, I will check it, I will see it, how you can be carefree. Oh, all those thoughts are coming. Because by repeating such thoughts, the default mind, or you can say the false I, wants to maintain its presence. But the biggest problem is that it does not exist. So we have to make default mind or I maker aware. How do you become aware? By recognizing, by understanding. I'm saying a simple word. How? By recognizing the false I in the form of a thought. In the form of a thought. Seeking security. So you are not seeking any security. Why? The real self is always secure. Real self is always secure. Oh, so what is this? Seeking security. Oh, you have recognized. You have recognized the default mind. That very recognition is moving to the discerning mind. You are not doing anything. You are not doing anything at all, my friend. Pay attention. Pay attention. You know, this step should be clear. You know, so sometime in the beginning, those people who are not aware of the philosophy and principle of Eastern wisdom, we give them many steps to engage their mind. But you know it, you know them, so this step alone can do. Can do means do what? Move default mind to discerning mind. What is this? Separation. Separation of what and why? Pay attention. Separation of what? Default mind has thought, feeling, and emotions, and nowhere is separate from it. Why? Why? Say, I am, thought says, I am in anxiety. It is a thought. So the default mind declares this thought is I am. And if the thought is I am, then we know what happens. We are in anxiety, we are in anger, we are frustrated, so on. Or we are in pleasure. Okay. So we have answered what and why. Now see that even if we fail to separate, so when we fail to separate, masters have many steps. So we can pick up one. Do you see the separation? Yes, I see the separation. Separation means the space between. How do you know that the shirt is separate from the body? I'm taking purely a physical example to explain. So there is a space because there is a space. So how do I know thought is not me? Because it is separate from me. It is separate from me. Okay, so separate, how we recognize? Oh, there is a space in between. In between all the thoughts on one side and I am on the other side. All thoughts on one side and I am on the other. Okay, okay, I understand. No, you understand and you are aware. Understanding is awareness, is knowledge. So once we say, you see how I give the practice and design the practice, you should also understand the mind of a teacher. What is my goal? To make you aware that there is a space in between. So when you recognize the space in between, just drop Om Shanti. Because there is a space, so you can drop it. Om Shanti, I am the peace. Now, this Om Shanti is a mantra, is a thought, is a space, it explores peace, and you are filled with peace. It explores, it does not produce. It does not produce or create. Who creates and produces? Ego. Default mind always likes to. That is the key. So you see the space, Shanti, just you drop non-verbally. So you continue to recognize the space between the rest of the thoughts and I am on one hand. And then in that space which you authenticate by Om Shanti, with just a flick. How do you know that the Kate and Sophia are separate? There is a space. Simply make that point clear. How do you know you and your shirt are separate? Oh, I know. There's a very little thin space. Oh, that way. All the thoughts and I am, in between there is a space. Where is understand? During the day, even with eyes open, you recognize the space. Oh, this thought has come. Very good. Thought, let me examine it and then I will speak. I examine, it has no value. Hey, you are crazy. No, this thought has no value at all. Why should I say it? Let me drop. That is the power of discerning mind. That is the power of discerning mind, my friend. So, or you can say there are two people communicating all the time. All the time. Oh, yes, all the time there are two people communicating. Two people communicating. So when you recognize the two people communicating, you can easily recognize which one is the default mind and which one is discerning mind. Which one is the discerning mind. And for support of intellect, we have Shanti. So you also recognize that separation and you drop Shanti. Even if you know why you are making me angry. Why you make me angry, for example, means what? Okay, default mind. Default mind. I am recognizing in your mind. Default mind. Shanti. Discerning mind. Or I am. Now see. Where is anxiety, duality, conflict? It is in the default mind. Default mind is what I said, is I maker, is the false I, seeking security, seeking security. By nature, default mind or ego is insecure. What I have to do is simply recognize it. Not only you recognize the separation, and then at a point, Shanti, so you recognize that everything is happening in the infinite peace. Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You need not to move your hands. We are breaking that old pattern. Open your eyes and remain aware. Remain aware. Default mind, it comes and it goes. Discerning mind is always there. And if it is always there, I recognize Om Shanti is always there. You go to the office and you are in stress. You did not separate it. You did not separate. It is the default mind. Whether you say it's a default mind, whether you say it's an eye maker, whatever you say. So the default setting of the mind, is on autopilot. I have to experience that default setting of the mind, autopilot. So there are two categories of the default set. I'm sitting in my room, okay, default set. I see the wall, default set. So at the physical level, there is no issue. Oh, I have to go to the restroom, no issue. I'll grab a cup of tea, no issue. Now, what makes the default mind crazy so that I become crazy? There are some impulsive habit and a sense of insecurity of the I. I only want this food to be happy. There is an insecurity. My mind has thought having $10 million will make me happy. So the moment you land up into the office, it is not the employee, it is your mind, the default setting of the mind. No, it is not there. Examine, recognize. So what happens? The default mind reacts to every bump in the road. And that bump on the road is anxiety, jealousy, frustration. It's fast and automatic, taking you down the same frustrating, well-worn path without a second thought. You get carried away. You are forced. Why you are forced? The false I always is insecure, so it wants to push you to live in insecurity. Why? So that the false I continues to exist. From today, no more anxiety, no more duality. You have understood it. So understood it means, you have understood what is the home address. So you don't land up to another address. You know, what is your car? So there are 10 cars. Oh, no, I'll go. I recognize, I understood it. So the discerning mind is a conscious navigator. Discerning mind is a conscious navigator. Default mind tries to prove that it is also a conscious navigator. It proves it is not. Discerning mind is a conscious navigator. That driver is intentional, it is purposeful, it takes a moment to read the map, choosing the best route, steering with clarity, and then it drives, it reaches to its home in security, in peace. That is what the Om Shanti is. I maker. I have been telling you, I maker. I am in anxiety, it is I maker. In other words, we say it's a default mind. I am upset, it is I maker. It is a thought. Thought is present in the mind. Mind is a flow of the thought. Thought always has an object. So I should translate that not until okay, this is a philosophy class, finished. And after it is finished, I am into anxiety. Why don't you recognize that thought? Why I am not able to recognize it is the I maker. I maker wants to remain insecure, so it wants to create these problems. It is not philosophy. It is practical. I maker is the mind. We are deep behind. So can I not say that, okay, I am in anxiety, this is a thought. So there is a thought of, there is a thought, there is a thought of anxiety as an object. I am neither the thought, I am not an anxiety. Where is the problem? I cannot say it. Why don't I say it? Because the default mind, the I maker, is dominating, dictating. That is why our master says, you have to get rid of this ego. We need a humility. Humility means openness. Humility has another meaning. I know that I have yet to know. Keep that thought in your mind. I am into anxiety. I know I have yet to know. And then apply this. I have yet to know means what? Oh, I am in anxiety. This is a thought. Thought as an object is anxiety. So I am neither the thought nor an anxiety. So I am separate from it. Om Shanti. Let us move ahead. It is very simple, but it is very challenging. Why? Why it is challenging? I maker will return. What the hell? I'm into anxiety and you don't understand. You are simply saying that I am the thought. Can you have an experience of anxiety without any thought? Tell me. Can you have an experience of peace without any thought? Unless the mind recognizes by a thought, you cannot have an anxiety. No, no, no. I am into anxiety. I know it. You are making me fool. This is the greatest and highest level of ego. It is not humble. Humble means, I told you, I know that I have yet to know. And that ego says, I know it. Well, first you have to follow the first step, then only we can move ahead. That what is changing is not me. The first step I fail, how can I move to the next step? Ladder, vertical, step by step. So, mind, are you sure? I'm not, I'm in anxiety. This is a thought. And anxiety is an object. I'm neither the thought nor anxiety. But why? Because I'm separate from it. I have to recognize and understand this. So what prevents you not to recognize? I maker. That is why Master says be humble. And I gave you one definition of humility. Normally humility means openness. Openness means what? Whatever I have experienced until today is not enough for me to take me to peace and happiness. So let me drop it. And then my mind is open. That is another way of understanding the humility. Humility is not that you are simply saying namaste, oh, namaste, but okay, give me the knowledge very fast. And I understood it intellectually. But you are still filled with the same kind of a thought process. And at the same time, you are doing namaste. It will not work. It will not. No, no, no. I'm totally open. Open means I know that I have yet to know. I know that I have yet to know means what? I drop the idea that I'm into anxiety and I'm upset. Why? Because I want to explore it. I maker says no more exploring. I am. Why don't you understand? If I have $10 million, I'll be happy. So second step will never take place. The money, the wealth cannot make me happy. Wealth does not have a property of happiness. Intellectually, I have understood, but the very first step I have not undertaken. And that will create another layer of ego. Why the master is talking like this? Because we want to raise your self-awareness. We want to raise your awareness and attention on this fact so that you recognize, I know that I have yet to know. I know what I know. I am in anxiety. Not enough. I have yet to know. I am in anxiety is only a thought. Thought has an object. I am neither the thought nor an object. Why? Because I recognize both. So I recognize both, I am separate. I already entered into discerning mind. Om Shanti. Finished. Done. Finished. So finished? No, it is not finished. Second thought will come. Om Shanti. Third thought will come. Om Shanti. Why they will come? Default setting of the mind. But why they are coming? Because of the way I live my life. It will continue to come. So until what? Until I move dominantly towards the discerning mind. So I have separated the so-called the two mind. What is the result? The result is that I am not the default mind. Every day you wake up in the morning, mind says a bad morning, thank you mind, I don't take you. Well, good morning, oh it's a very good day, thank you. I'm not affected by anyone. Why? Because both are thought. And he says, I love you, thank you. And he says, I hate you, thank you. You're not affected because you clearly see it is only a thought. So I made it lesson, default mind versus discerning mind. So that will open up your mind. You say, oh, there are two minds always there. Yes. Discerning mind is always there. Default mind keeps on changing because it thrives on I-ness. I maker. I'm in anxiety. I am. So I am. The thought contains I am. Don't you know that I am depressed? Thanks God. You should remain in depression throughout your life. Why don't you understand this is only a thought? You are separate from it. The default driver and the discerning driver. Choose one. Whatever you want to choose. Default driver react to a situation, relations, people, anxious, jealous. So it means what? What the master is telling you? That when you have these symptoms, simply remember in your head. It is the default mind. Remember means recognition. Recognition means understanding. Understanding means awareness. This ego also hijacks aware. I'm aware. What you are aware? I'm very much scared. So your awareness has a fear in it. Okay. Can awareness has a property of fear?
No.
And then you are claiming that I know I am scared and it is true. I told you, yes.
As soon as I see the thoughts, any thought which come in my mind, it means that already I make his
Yes.
work, and
Yes.
there is external object where the thoughts is going to.
Yeah. I have to live in that life of self-awareness all the time in a waking state to become a seeker. So default driver or default mind. So it means whenever I experience anxiety, pressure, tiredness, happiness, okay, it is pertaining to a particular thought and object, it's a default mind. I should recognize it. Default mind says you need not to recognize. This is what you are. And this is what you are. It is false eye. Go back. Humility. I know that I have yet to know. I maker says I know everything. You need not to know anything. What you know? I am already into anxiety, so I am in anxiety. I have a reaction. Yes, I have a reaction. So our masters are saying whenever you experience these symptoms of anxiety, jealousy, relationship, or depression, reaction, excitement, you have to ask, do you ever think, reflect, why and how? We don't reflect. Why we don't reflect? We take it for granted. That is why people say office gives me lot of stress.
The thinking about office give stress,
See?
and I maker who make me the responsible for the office.
Yeah.
Make me
And home makes me very happy because my sensual desires are fulfilled. Make your office the home of sensual desires and make your home as an office and then see what happens. And then see what happens. Then the mind is always attracted. It will reach 1 hour before. Because that is the nature of the default mind. That is what the false I is. So whether you say default, so two minds, default mind to a discerning mind, what we should do, we have to do nothing. For the sake of understanding, we say become aware what is going on in your mind, where the false I is taking you to, what it is thinking, from where this thought has come. The moment you start knowing and recognizing and asking, you live into that awareness, and when you live into that awareness, you have already started separating. The moment you have started separating, Om Shanti, separating, I told you the space. Pay attention. Separation means what? There are two things and more than two things, and there is a space in between. I have a shirt, so there is always a space. It is sticking to my body, but still there is a space. That is how I recognize shirt is not my body. Why you stress on separation? Default mind creates the false I, creates the false thought, and they mess up together. They say it is one. I am in anxiety, this is a thought. It already uses the word I. I is also a thought. But it does not want to understand. One, it wants to understand you are a seeker. I told you the humility means I know that I have yet to know. I know that is all. Doctor, treat my depression, treat my excitement, I have a lot of thoughts in the morning. So I recognize that all the thoughts are me. That is the default setting of the mind. Default mind versus the discernment mind. I'm trying to make myself, we are not going deeper, we are just making it very simple. Everything Eastern wisdom is very simple. Simple things we understand, simple life it is. Simple life means extraordinary peace and happiness in the joy inside us. Why it matters. Default mind versus discerning mind. I maker versus discerning mind points to the real I. We have not reached there, but it points from the very beginning. But why it does not happen? I lack self awareness. What is the meaning of lacking self awareness? Whenever I have an experience of anxiety, feeling fatigue, tiredness, tired, I am very tired. I identified myself with the body. That is why I feel tired. I have to reflect on it. So, lacking self awareness, when I lack self awareness, the mind returns, the default mind returns with a greater force. You see, you have not taken care of it, you have not taken your lunch, you have to drive so hard. In the home also, she did not cook the food, and then there is a problem. Let me sleep. I am feeling sleepy. Ah, default mind contains all this. I maker contains all this. I am not my default mind in general. Another way, the I maker is the source of suffering. Why? It is insecure. It is always insecure. You give this I maker $1 billion in the account. The I maker says, I am rich. Then your mind, that the same I maker says, our current president is the president of your country. Yesterday, in the stock market, there is a $2 trillion loss. What will happen to my dollar? Dollar will lose its value. I maker. It is the story of an I maker. Same 1 billion. You are rich. Same 1 billion. Connected to the outer situation. That is what the I maker is. So, moving again and again from default mind to discerning mind means consistency is the key. If we are not consistent, discerning mind means discernment is a muscle of the mind. You are building new sets of muscles and nerves, and ultimately you make the nerve of steel when discernment is final. Is that entire Eastern wisdom? Yes, you will live in meditation all the time. There is another way to say it. You are driving on the middle lane and the right lane is free, so you shift your car on the right lane. So, can you escape the default mind moving the mind into another lane? I'm into anxiety. No, let me shift. That's another teaching of another teacher. I'm translating into a modern. So escape the autopilot. Master your mind's default setting. Are you tired of being an emotional roller coaster? Do you find yourself reacting automatically, either in the office or at home with people, only regretting it later? We are talking about the default mind versus the discernment mind. One is on autopilot, we have understood. So, but there is another way, the discernment mind. I told you it's a conscious navigator, the part that gives you a choice. What exactly the teacher wants to say. Teacher of Eastern wisdom wants to say awareness is the key. From that awareness, I recognize there is a humility in the mind. And that humility says, no, there is much more than a thought of anxiety. I don't recognize it. It is an intellectual learning. I maker is so strong, it says, I know. I need not to know anything. Then why you are into anxiety? Live in anxiety. You have taken for granted that anxiety reaction is your nature. For that, I need a humility. Sophia spells a drink. The default mind is a quick shout of frustration. What you have done, instant. But with practice, you say, default mind, keep aside. She is my daughter. Let me move into a discernment mind. I made the mistakes many times. So now I have to change my attitude. No problem, Sophia. You did it. It happened. You did not do it intentionally. Let us move ahead. Simple example. Can I apply this all the time? Recognize that default mind. We have to follow the self awareness again and again. Yes, do the practice regularly, but at the same time, morning and evening before going to sleep, but at the same time, you have to apply that practice all the time. And if you apply that practice